Good morning, cadets. Now, today we will continue with the first topic, electrostatics. We have discussed about the electricity in the last period, in the last session, and we discussed what are all the topics that we are going to cover in physics part 1, right? So, we are going to start with the first unit, that is electrostatics. Basically, the charges at rest. So, electrostatics, as we have discussed in the previous session, is a branch of physics. Electrostatics is a branch of physics which deals with the forces, fields, potentials that are arising due to charges at rest. It means it basically deals with charges at rest, and charges at rest are also called as static charges. So, the name of the first topic is charges at rest, electric charges at rest. The invention of this electric charges at rest goes back to around 600 BC. Historically, it goes back to around 600 BC to Thales of Miletus. Around 600 BC in Greece, the Thales of Miletus is actually an astronomer, philosopher, and so many inventions are there in his name, Thales of Miletus, right? Around 600 BC, yellow resinous material, it is called as amber. Resinous material called amber. Resinous means just like gum, rubber type. Rubber is also plant product. Rubber is also plant product. So this yellow resinous material, just like rubber or waxy material, when it is rubbed with fur, when it is rubbed with silk, or when it is rubbed with animal fur, it was found to have property of attracting light feather, or any light objects, light leaf, dry leaf. So this name of amber in Greece, in Greek language, it is called as electron. You can see here, ELKTRON, electron. It is a Greek letter for amber. Greek word for rubbed amber. Right? So, rubbed amber means amber rubbed with silk or fur or wool was found to attract pieces of feather or dry leaves, So this goes to way back 600 BC. The fame of Thales of Miletus. So the name electron is also derived from this amber rubbed with silk, rubbed with fur, right? So this is having property of attracting. It means when it is having property of attracting light feathers, it must be exerting some force of attraction. So anything which has that property of attracting or property of exerting is further termed as charge. So the amber rubbed with fur is said to be charged. And the amber, when it is taken, it is not exerting any force. It doesn't exert any force. But when it is rubbed with the fur or silk, it is found to attract the pieces of feather or pieces of dry leaves. Means it is capable of attracting, it is capable of exerting force. Anything which is capable of exerting force, usually it is called as charge. Therefore the term charge has come. So like this you can list number of materials. Glass rod rubbed with silk. Glass rod rubbed with silk. Glass rod rubbed with silk is also found to attract pieces of feather, light feather or paper. In the same way, plastic rod, like you must have experienced the plastic comb. When you rub it with your dry hair, it is capable of pulling up pieces of paper. Or in general we can say plastic rod rubbed with fur or hair, dry hair. Fur or dry hair is also having the same property of attracting pieces of paper. So this is another pair, this is one pair, this is another pair, and one more pair is amber rubbed with fur. So like that you can make certain list of materials which are having this property of attracting. So it is this process we call it as charging. Before they are being rubbed, they do not have this property of attracting the pieces of paper. But when they are rubbed with another material like silk, silk is also insulator, glass rod is also insulator. So these are pairs of insulators. Plastic rod with fur or dry hair. Dry hair or fur is also insulator. Plastic rod is also insulator. The resinous material, yellow resinous material, amber, is rubber like material. It is also insulator. Rubbed with again animal fur, animal hair or wool. So these are all insulators. So we are basically looking at rubbing of insulators. When the insulators are rubbed against each other, they are found to have the property of attracting pieces of paper. Like for example, if you take a balloon which is inflated, if you take a balloon and blow it, then rub that balloon against your palm and leave it near the ball, it will get stuck to the ball. It is because of rubbing. The rubbing leads to charging. The static charges are being developed on the rubbed part, right? So this process is called as charging. This process of rubbing is called as charging, or another term is electrification. It is called as electrification because after charging or after electrification, the charged body is found to have the property of attracting. Because of this, the term charge has been derived. Charge means the one which is capable of exerting force of attraction or force of repulsion, right? So based on that, based on the observation of these activities, it is found that there are two types of charges. There are two types of charges. Okay. When it is tested in great details, it was found that the glass rod rubbed with silk is found to have kind of force which is different from the plastic rod rubbed with fur. So it was Benjamin Franklin who stated that there are two types of charges. So the glass rod rubbed with silk is having different charge compared with the plastic rod rubbed with fur or plastic rod rubbed with hair, dry hair. So there are two types of charges. They are termed as positive charges and negative charges. Positive charges and negative charges. So we can list here from the pair of materials that we have just now discussed, we can list which are positively charged bodies, which are negatively charged bodies. So first I told you about glass rod rubbed with silk. So glass rod rubbed with silk is found to have positive charges, whereas the rubbed silk with the glass, rubbed silk with glass is found to have negative charges. Rubbed silk is found to have negative charge. So you have to remember this pair of materials. This is first. Second one, as we discussed, plastic rod. Plastic rod rubbed with fur. In that case, plastic rod is found to have negative charge, the other type of charge. So I will write plastic rod, rubbed plastic rod here. Rubbed plastic scale, or we can say comb or plastic rod is found to have negative charge, whereas the one which is used for rubbing here, that is fur or wool or dry hair, is found to have fur or dry hair is found to have negative charges. Similarly, ebonite rod, rubbed ebonite. Ebonite is also just like hard rubber. It is also like hard rubber, hard plastic, like hard plastic. It is also insulator. This rubbed ebonite with wool. Note here I am writing here. Ebonite with wool. Woolen clothes for that matter. So the wool is found to have positive charge, and the rubbed ebonite rod is found to have negative charge. And we have started with amber, which is termed as electron actually in the Greek language. So amber, rubbed amber rod with fur or wool is found with dry leaves is found to have attracting properties. Okay, so one can list the positively charged bodies and negatively charged bodies. Before they are being rubbed, they did not possess this property of attracting light materials. So after rubbing itself, the property of pulling light materials is being observed. It means after being rubbed, these materials are found to possess charges. Then what do you mean by charge? That's what I said just now. Charge is a property developed on a material, on a matter. Matter may be, as you know, solid, liquid or gas. Usually we use this dielectrics. Usually we speak in terms of insulators. So charge is the one which is developed on a material which can apply or exert force on other materials. That's why it is called as charge. Right? So that process is called as charging, or that process is also called as electrification. So here we are speaking of glass rod being rubbed with silk, plastic rod rubbed with fur, ebonite rod rubbed with wool. So rubbing is essential. What happens after rubbing? It is actually the friction. the friction between these insulators take place. When the friction between the insulators takes place, what happens? The work done by the body, work done by the person, that is the mechanical work. That mechanical work done is utilized against the friction. The work is done against the friction. This work done against the friction is partly converted into heat, as we know, and partly it is now converted into electric energy in the form of electric charges, formation of electric charges. And question arises, how is these charges developed? Are they being created? Charges are not being created. It's very interesting. Charges are already existing in the material. We are learning it as a very important properties of the charges. One of the very important properties of the charges, that charges can neither be created nor be destroyed. They can be transferred from one body to another body. That is what we learn it as conservation of charges. Conservation of charges. It means charges cannot be created. Charges can neither be created nor be destroyed, but charges are transferred from one body to another body. So by actual rubbing, what happens? The charges which are present on the body, like we know, electrons are the negative charged particles which are revolving around the nucleus in the atom. So the electrons which are there in the outermost orbit are loosely bound to the nucleus. So on rubbing with another insulator, the electrons which are there in the outermost orbit, which are loosely bound, they rupture that orbit and jump onto the other surface. They break out of that orbit and get transferred to the other material. The material on which the electrons are transferred, that material becomes negatively charged. Right? And the electron which is being lost by one material, that is having this shortage of the negative charge. So that is what we call it as positively charged material. For example, glass rod, when it is rubbed with silk, the glass rod loses the electrons. After losing the electrons, the glass rod becomes positively charged. After gaining the electrons, the silk becomes negatively charged. The deposition of the electrons on the silk surface leads to negatively charged silk clothes. Right? Similarly, when the rubbed plastic is rubbed with dry hair or fur, same thing happens. The electrons are transferred from dry hair or fur onto the surface of plastic rod. Thus, plastic rod becomes negatively charged and fur or dry hair becomes positively charged. In the same way, you can explain the other things also. Amber becomes negatively charged on rubbing with silk or fur or wool. So, the amber becomes negatively charged because of transfer of negatively charged electrons from the wool or from the fur onto the amber surface. So, this is how we learn about the types of charges and charged bodies. So, that's how we conclude charge is the property, that is characteristic property developed on a material which can exert force on the other materials. And this kind of charges that we are getting due to rubbing, we call them as even as frictional charges. We call them even as frictional charges, and it is also called as, the topic is also called as frictional electricity. The electricity that is so developed due to rubbing of the bodies against each other, that electricity is called as frictional electricity. Frictional electricity. Now we will list the properties of charges. Now we will discuss some of the important nature of charges. Rather than saying properties, we can say nature of these charges. First important thing is polarity. The polarity is the property which differentiates the two kinds of charges. Like the plastic rubbed with fur, plastic rod rubbed with fur is having different types of charge compared with glass rod rubbed with silk. So the property which differentiates the two kinds of charges is usually called as polarity. Like glass rod is having positive polarity and plastic rod is having negative polarity, right? So before rubbing these materials against each other, they do not have any polarity, means they are neutral. Then question arises, if a material is neutral, then how do these charges arise? How do these charges arise? On rubbing, the charges are developed. As I just now we have discussed that on charging, on rubbing, what happens? The electrons in the outermost orbit will be able to rip off from that material and jump to the other material. The material which has gained the electrons will develop negative polarity, and the material which has lost the electrons will develop positive polarity. So there will be an affinity of regaining these electrons back to the material which has lost the electrons. Like glass rod when rubbed with silk, the electrons jump off from the glass rod onto the surface of silk, and silk cloth becomes negatively charged polarity, and the glass rod develops positively charged polarity. So there is affinity between this positively charged glass rod with the silk cloth. So if you bring them back again when you bring them back in contact, the glass rod and silk cloth, they will become neutral. Again the electrons get transferred from silk cloth back to the glass rod, and the glass rod as well as silk cloth become electrically neutral. They will not be further able to pull the pieces of paper. So as long as they are charged, they will be capable of pulling the pieces of paper. Once the charging is lost, means if the reunion of the electrons back to the positively charged body takes place, neutralization takes place, and thus it will not be able to exert force. Right? This is one nature. So one more thing that we need to understand here is the force of interaction between these charged bodies. If you take glass rod rubbed with silk, if it is suspended, this is glass rod rubbed with silk, as we have stated. Conventionally, it is found to have positive charges. If you bring a plastic rod rubbed with wool or plastic rod rubbed with fur, then it is found to have an interaction between them. There will be a kind of attraction between them. This will pull this rod here and it will be pulling this. So kind of attractive force exerted between them. If you bring on the other hand another plastic rod rubbed with fur, with this plastic rod rubbed with fur, if you examine, you will come to know that there will be a force of repulsion between them. So glass rod rubbed with silk exerts a force of attraction on the plastic rod rubbed with fur. So this shows that the bodies which are having opposite polarity exert attractive force, and the bodies which are having similar polarity exert repulsive force. So in general we can conclude like charges repel each other, unlike charges attract each other. Like charges repel each other, unlike charges attract each other. Then how do you come to know whether a body is charged or not? One simple test is to bring light materials like light feather, light thin leaves or small pieces of paper to test it. Otherwise, there is a device which is called as electroscope. Electroscope is a device which is used to test whether a body is charged or neutral, and the name of the device is called electroscope. can just note down. Electroscope is a device used to test whether a body is having charge or not. It will be just helping us whether a body is charged or not. It will not help us to find the type of charge. So electroscope is a device which is used to test whether a body is charged or not, whether it is having polarity or not. Polarity in the sense whether it is positively charged or negatively charged. Just it will tell you whether it is charged or not. You will be able to come to know whether the body is charged or not. It will not be helpful to exactly find out what is the type of charge. So that device is called as electroscope. Electroscope is a device used to check whether a body is charged or not. This is schematic diagram of electroscope. The electroscope consists of a metal lid, you can see here, or metal head, you can say. It is metal head. It is like a circular disc, or one can have even spherical body, spherical metallic body. So it is completely a good conductor, and it is attached with a metal rod. This is also good conductor, conducting rod. That is metal rod. This metal rod passes through the cork piece or rubber stopper. You can say this is a rubber stopper or cork stopper. And the other end of this metal rod is having a small hook. It's having a small hook, right? And this is glass jar. So this metal rod with hook is taken inside the glass jar. Before that, a thin gold foil is taken and will be folded. It will be folded like this. And this fold will be kept in this angle. This is gold leaf. Folded gold foil, right? This is nothing but gold leaf or thin gold foil. Thin gold foil. Because the reason is gold is a very good conductor. Even it is a better conductor than copper. Why gold only is preferred? The reason is, as you know, gold is highly malleable and ductile compared to other materials. Because of its high malleability and ductility, gold can be drawn into any thin wire or thin sheet. It can be made flat. It can be hammered to any thin sheet. So that is what we know it as, its special property, malleability and ductility. Therefore, a thin gold foil can be taken and it is folded, and this fold is just suspended on this metal hook, metal rod with a hook. This entire device is called as gold leaf electroscope. It is also called as gold leaf electroscope. Now, how does it test whether a body is charged or not? Now, take a glass rod, rub the glass rod with silk cloth. When the rubbed glass rod is brought in close contact with the metal head of this electroscope, this is the rubbed glass rod, which is conventionally said to have positive charges as we know. When it is brought here, then suddenly you will observe the divergence of these leaves. The leaves getting diverged, the angle between the fold of these leaves getting increased. How does it happen? When you take it back again, the leaves collapse. It comes back to its initial shape. But when you bring it closer, to the metal head, it again expands, means divergence of the leaves take place. How does it happen? Divergence of the leaves take place because of charging. One should think that the leaves surfaces must be charged. If they are charged with the same charge, same type of polarity, then there will be kind of repulsion. Because of repulsion, the leaves diverge. So what happens when you bring it closer? It is not brought in contact. Still now I have not brought in contact with this. It is brought in close vicinity. Then you will find the electrons being pulled to the head. The electrons from this part being pulled along the glass rod and they will be deposited here. When the electrons are being pulled here, you will be this gold leaf will be deposited with positive charges. It is left with positive charges. So when the gold leaf surface is deposited with positive charges, obviously there is a force of repulsion between them. As a result, the gold leaves diverge. Diverge means the angle between them increases. Again, when you take it back, the redistribution of the charges back to their sides take place. Electrons flow back down to their positive sides and the reunion of the charges take place. Neutralization of the gold leaf takes place. Again, the gold leaves collapse. The fold of the gold leaves collapse. This is how one can test whether it is charged or not. We can just test it, but we cannot say whether it is positively charged or negatively charged. Right? Same thing happens when you exactly bring it in contact also. When you bring this rubber glass rod in contact with the metal head, then the leaves extend, means the divergence of the leaves increases because you are bringing it in contact. When you bring it in contact, what happens? More and more charges will be released and more charges will be deposited on the gold leaf surface. As a result, degree of divergence increases. In this way, by the extent of degree of divergence, we can come to know whether the body is charged or not. The more it is charged, the more it is electrified, more will be the degree of divergence of these gold leaves. The less it is electrified, means if it is rubbed less against the silk cloth, if it is rubbed less against the silk cloth, degree of divergence will be less. That is how we find out the extent of charge. Right? So there are two types of charges which we will study in detail in the next video. Two types of charging. One is charging by induction. The one which I have shown here, the charging is taking place even at a certain distance between them. This is called charging by induction. Not bringing in contact. When the charged body is not brought in contact, but it is held at a certain distance with the other substance, then that type of charging is called as charging by induction. Not by physical contact. Yesterday we discussed about that lightning conductor. When the charged cloud approaches the lightning conductor, one can expect the opposite kind of charges getting deposited on the sharp edges, on the sharp ends of that lightning conductor. So that is charging by induction. Is that clear? When there is not at any physical contact, the charging which takes place at a certain distance between them, it is called as induction, charging by induction. You must understand the meaning of induction. Inducing the kind of charges. Inducing opposite kind of charges here. On the top, you can see. On the head, opposite kind of charges are induced or not? Yes. So this is called as charging by induction. Whereas on the leaves, same charges are left. Right. Now another one is charging by contact. Charging by contact is called as charging by conduction. Charging by conduction, that is by actual physical contact. Actual physical contact. So what happens if you touch this? Then charging by conduction takes place, right? Charging by actual physical contact. As a result, what happens? Can you just look at this? Electrons will be just getting transferred here, and they will be able to neutralize some of the positive charges. So neutralization of the charges take place at the head, but leaving behind the similar charges at the other end. So as a result, more and more charges, we can say in simple terms, more and more charges will be flowing down on the leaves, and the degree of divergence of the leaves increases further. This is called charging by conduction. Is that clear? Charging by induction, charging by conduction. When the body is getting charged, that is charging by friction. Glass rod, when you take the glass rod, before it is rubbed, it is neutral. Silk cloth, it is also neutral. After glass rod being rubbed with silk, glass rod becomes positively charged, the silk becomes negatively charged. So that is charging by friction. Is that clear? So we will discuss about these things in detail in the next video. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye.